Hi, join us on this really fun Hago rerun as we explore Georgetown. Not only do we get to see historic, really cool architecture, but some great views of the Potomac River. This was from January of 2022. Enjoy.
In Washington, D.C.
Hello, 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 everyone.
Hi. I'm trying out new fashion today.
Yeah, we
It's
have beards.
Yeah,
We've
it's a cloth beard.
grown our beards out.
Hi, Christine and
Hello.
Robin and Tony V and Tish. Hi, Ray, Luigi, Lynn. So many regulars. Welcome, everybody.
Hi, we're so happy to see everyone. We've missed you. Is that crazy to say? We've missed doing the tours and missed everyone. So hello,
Groupies.
groupies.
Totally.
Yeah. Hello, hello. We're just gonna say hello for our tour is gonna get started in about 10 minutes, or under 10 minutes, about 8.5 minutes.
Oh, thanks, Joan. I knew you were there that day. I had other friends there, and I peeked around for you. But then you told me you were a part of a bus tour, so it makes sense.
Oh, cheers.
Yay.
Yeah, hi.
Kathleen, seeing you next Sunday in Baltimore.
Oh, how exciting.
That's exciting.
The Hippodrome. It's such a beautiful theater, isn't it, Kathleen?
Jill, I'm not sure about that exact. I think she was trying to make AP groupies, but it looks like a poopies. That makes me laugh. I don't think that's one that
Hi,
needs
Samara.
to catch on.
Oh,
Yay.
happy belated New Year to you. We're allowed to say that for the whole month of January, I feel like. Don't
Sure, yeah. Why not? Especially because it's the first time we're seeing
Yeah,
everybody,
that's
right?
true,
The last
yeah.
time was on the 26th, Boxing Day. Oh, thanks, Tish. We're tearing up because it's so cold. Oh, thanks, Leslie. This is actually. Do we have anybody from Seattle? Patrick gave me this for Christmas a couple years ago. It's from the Seattle burger joint, Dick's.
Dick's Burger Joint, yeah.
So good.
It's great to
So
see you.
good.
Oh, great to see you, too. Make sure you watch the Signature Theater.
Oh, funny,
Oh.
Kathleen. That's the text that a friend sent me this morning and woke me up early, saying, "Hey, this is on YouTube this morning." Yeah. Oh wait, what was the bus tour thing? I missed that. I had to take my glove off. Make my neighbors ask. I watch Hago on bus tours and make my neighbors. Oh, I'm not sure what that means.
Like the neighbor sitting next to them.
Oh, I see. Do you have a question? That's funny. Wait, is Patrick Toomey
Finn
on? Oh,
is
Finn's
on.
on.
Oh,
Hi,
hi, Finn. Oh, my gosh.
Wait, I think Finn has one later today. I want to say it's like surviving in the wilderness. Am I right, Finn, or something like that? And Patrick as well. Yay! And Dave.
Oh, Dave K. Lots of fun. Folks, it's a regular reunion for the Hago Guides.
When you didn't want to drink the water in Saratoga. I know, he made me drink
no,
it.
I'm not going to drink that nasty water.
Yeah. Wait, Finn, am I right? I feel like you have a tour it's something like surviving in the Canadian wilderness. It's the Cave and Basin.
Oh, yeah.
Part 2. Oh, no. Pat 2. Pat as well, I see. I got you.
Yeah.
By the way, we haven't even introduced ourselves. If you are new to us,
We're sorry.
So sorry. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Patrick, and we're glad you're here with us. We are going to get going in about 5.5 minutes still. So we're just saying hello. If you're joining and wondering, the tour has not started. We're just saying hi to some folks.
Yeah. We are normally the New York City guides, by the way. But whenever we travel, we like to show off wherever we are. Oh, Francis is here too. Yay.
Oh,
Hi,
Francis from
in
Vienna. Gosh, Francis, we love Vienna so much. We had a great time there a few years ago. And gosh, if you haven't toured with Francis in Vienna, treat yourself. You won't regret it. You'll get to see a beautiful city and a great guide. And Patrick and Finn from Banff, who do fantastic tours in Banff, are both here as well. So and Dave K in Dublin, who I swear it's the most energetic and fun tours in Dublin with Dave K. So treat yourself to all those folks, and you won't regret it, I promise.
I don't know if anybody heard the guy taking out the trash in the middle of that. It sounded like those classic, like when somebody falls off stage and it's like, that's what it sounded like.
Like car rims.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Sabine, welcome. Oh, Patrick, well, you need more. Well, you know what? We have another one tomorrow. We're doing a sculpture garden, the Smithsonian Sculpture Garden.
That's right.
And I think we're going to have another one next week. I think we're going to...
Fingers crossed. We have to
Yeah.
check the signal before we...
Yeah. And maybe not the week after that, but the week after that. We have a couple this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you do Baltimore? Well, that's what our hope is, Kathleen. We have to check the signal. Hi, Tracy.
That was the
nice
biggest
to see you
wink
too.
in history of
David
winks.
and Wendy, hello, hello.
Yeah, so we have to test the signal, Kathleen. But that is the plan.
Oh, they say hello to Patrick
Oh.
and Donna.
It is, Mary, yes, I can answer that. It is a tiny bit warmer here. It's currently 24 degrees. And in,
-4 Celsius.
Yeah. And in New York, I saw on my phone this morning, it was 12 degrees in New York. Eileen, yeah, I'm with Patrick just for a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky me.
Oh, Joan, it's only 8. Ooh. I know, Crystal. Yeah, my show's on a little COVID hiatus right now.
Yeah.
For those of you, we'll say this again once we get going, but for those of you that don't know, I'm doing the show Mrs. Doubtfire in New York City. And January and February are always bad for ticket sales for Broadway shows anyway. And then you add on a little thing called COVID, and then you tack on Omicron,
Oh,
and
boy.
we're Omegon for the next 9 weeks. They decided to shut our show down for 9 weeks, which is a bummer, but we'll be back in March.
It's a bummer for them, but Aaron's loss, of course, is my gain because he gets to come visit me on the road, which I feel lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all you can have is a sense of humor, right? Like, I mean, what am I going to do? Pout? You know, you just got to do the Home Alone face.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, exactly. Better to be healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, Mary. Yeah, and we're researching some new stuff, and I'll do that. I'll be with Patrick for like a few more days now. I've been here for a bit, and then I'll go back to New York. And actually, I think the Lower Manhattan tour I'm going to research. You guys didn't even hear that because I whispered it. But there's a new tour in New York we've been wanting to do. Somebody was asking, I think Wire, is it normally... Oh, shoot. I paused our stream, sorry. Oh, Wire, January and February. January and February are always low because it's cold. People aren't traveling to New York because it's cold in New York.
The kids have just gone back to school from their holiday break, their Christmas break, so I don't know. It's a slow time.
Yeah. David and Wendy said the review of your performance was amazing. Patrick got a really, really good review on his performance in the Washington Post.
It's always nice when they say nice things, but you know that can, a good review can lure you in to like read more, and then you get burned because you're like, oh, that other person didn't like it. But anyway,
He doesn't
thank
normally read them, but people sent the review to me. So the funny thing is, you can get Hamilton tickets day of now.
you. Right now, isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
And
which
tickets
is nuts.
for Hugh Jackman is doing The Music Man on Broadway.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy right now with everything that's happening. You can get tickets for that,
Yeah.
that's crazy that you can get tickets for that right
Yeah,
now.
so I'm going to see some shows when I go back next week and support friends and support theater.
We
and-
still have just under a minute and before we're going to
That's
get going.
exciting.
It is exciting.
And then we're going to get going in Georgetown, USA. You've already seen it 6 times, Kathleen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Hugh had COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He got through it fine. I mean, this new variant seems to be, if you're vaxxed, and especially if you're boosted, it's pretty mild. Oh, he was out and you canceled.
Yeah.
Hello, Marianne. Hi. Is your chin nice and warm?
It really is. I was trying to think of that song, Marianne. There's a Sondheim song.
I don't think I know that one.
It's not very well known. I can't come up with it right now.
Yeah, I don't know that one. 4, 3, 2, 1. Confetti cannon. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Georgetown. We are in Georgetown, which is a part of Washington, D.C. If you're new to us, I am Aaron.
And I'm Patrick. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, and we probably have a lot of folks who are new. We are normally the New York City tour guides, but we have been kind of in and out of doing our normal tours because we're also both theater actors. So Patrick is doing the national tour of The Prom, which is here in Washington, D.C. right now. and I am doing Mrs. Doubtfire in New York City, which is on a bit of a hiatus right now due to a little thing we call the pandemic. And so I get to be here and hang with him, and we are going to show off Georgetown today.
Yeah.
It is really cold. It is 24 degrees Fahrenheit, -4 degrees Celsius here in Georgetown. The time is 11:30 a.m. In Georgetown.
That's right. There is a really cool thing about these Hago tours you can do. Most of you know this, but just in case, you can take pictures, postcard pictures. And I think the button is at the bottom center of your screen now. There's lots of new bells and whistles on the Hago tours that some of them we don't even know exactly how they all work yet. There's a mute button if you don't want to hear us or other people, I think, in the chat. I'm not positive.
You can totally mute us. We won't care.
Yeah, you can look at the
We
pretty
won't even
pictures.
know.
Yeah, so if you ask the question, I'm sure lots of experts, Hago experts, will answer those for you if you have questions about how that works.
Norway. Emma from Norway is here. These are the jokes, folks. What else do I have to say? I don't think I have. Do I have anything else?
Wait, don't we normally say?
I do normally say something else. I can't remember though.
We'll add it as we tour you around because we want to get started.
Yeah, let's get going.
All right.
So we're gonna
put our masks on because it keeps us warm.
and we also don't know who we're gonna run into as we're strolling along. Will it work? We're gonna try to turn the camera with our gloved finger.
Oh, it did
worked.
work! Yay!
Hooray! We have those, I was going to say fancy gloves that
these were free.
These were free. They were free from T-Mobile. So we're starting right here in quaint little Georgetown. Well, we're going to be in quaint little Georgetown the whole time. So for those of you that don't know, Georgetown is a part of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. We are specifically in the northwest section of D.C. It is unbelievably picturesque as we stroll through. I mean, we could turn down any street and see these beautiful homes. Behind us, by the way, actually, we'll cross and then we'll just show back. It's not terribly picturesque, but I'll just show you what we were standing in front of. Look at that little bendy street down there.
Gally, it is charming. All of Georgetown. You can stroll around charming, especially on a nice day, and just be charmed the whole time.
So this area right here is called Tudor Place. So that's what we were standing in front of. You can't see it, but at the top of the hill there is a home that served to home for descendants of Martha Washington for over 6 decades, actually.
Oh, thank you, Jill. Yes, No Marianne. That's that song.
Oh, do you want to go this way?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Here we go. Oh, a dead Christmas tree.
Oh, it's that time of the year when you see, the Christmas tree graveyards all over.
The party's over. So Tudor Place, what we were standing in front of, it's been there since 1816. You can tour the grounds of. It's about 5 acres of gardens that you can tour, and you can go through the elegant house, which has a lot of Washington artifacts throughout the house as well. It is indeed open to the public. We were just on Q Street and 32nd Street, by the way. Q and 32nd. And we're making our way over to Wisconsin.
No, we haven't been by that house yet, Petra, so we don't know if... we know that was filmed here somewhere, but we haven't been by it yet.
And somebody mentioned Georgetown cupcakes. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. We have opinions. If you know us, you know we liked our baked items, and we have opinions. We're right here at the corner of Wisconsin and Q, and right across the street is the Georgetown Lutheran Church. This is one of the oldest Lutheran congregations in the United States. It is the oldest Lutheran church in Washington, D.C. And not only is it the oldest Lutheran church here in D.C., but it was actually founded 32 years before Washington was even organized as our nation's capital. Originally, it was a log cabin. I think this is the 4th iteration of this church, or the building. It was erected in 1769. The newer structure was built in 1835. And then the cornerstone for this one was laid in 1867. 1867 was the 3rd iteration. The 4th iteration came in 1919, so I think we still have some remnants of different iterations throughout. One of the remnants actually was the discarded bell, which we're going to cross over to see. It was given away in the 1870s and discovered in a junkyard in 1937. 1937. Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Should we go?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to cross and run. Stay with us. Discovered in a junkyard in 1937, given back to the church. They need to do a little bit of love on it. We're going to pop up here and just show it off. Here we go. Hey.
Yeah, the bell is currently not hanging and is upside down like it's a flower pot, but that is the bell, believe it or not, and it does need a little bit of love.
Not ringing these days, is
No.
it?
You know what? If I were a bell, I'd be ringing.
You'd be ringing more than that one, that's for sure. All right, so we're going to make our way down Wisconsin and walk through the streets of Georgetown a little bit and chat about Georgetown as we make our way along. So the primary commercial corridors of Georgetown are Wisconsin, which we're walking along now, and M Street, which we'll be walking along in just a little bit. We'll make our way over to M Street. M Street is one of the most exclusive shopping districts of Washington, D.C. It did look like a bucket, Lori. I think it was upside down, but it does look like a bucket. Kyle, does it have a clapper? I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But Patrick, we can go back and Patrick can stand behind it and clap. I'm like, there's a clapper.
I also just want to say, someone pointed out the decorations. They do have a few Christmas wreaths and decorations still up, which we're enjoying while we're here, because they probably won't be up much longer.
But we love it.
Clap on, clap on.
So this area, you're going to see lots of high-end shops and bars and restaurants. Georgetown Park, an enclosed mall, is in this area as well. Also, the embassies of Cameroon, France, Iceland, Liechtenstein, Mongolia, Thailand, Ukraine, and Venezuela are all here in Georgetown. It's also home to the main campus of Georgetown University. And, oh, by the way, the other thing I forgot to say, oh goodness, look at this. Should we go over and show this cute little mural?
Yeah.
There's a lot of little alley murals. Hopefully she'll finish her smoke break away from the mural. It is super cold here, and sometimes that messes with our phone. So if that happens, we've got Patrick's phone ready to swap over. In case, so if for some reason it gets so cold that my phone dies, we'll swap over, so just bear with those couple minutes. And we may not know that happens until it happens, by the way. Oh, Barbara, do they have a subway service there? So it doesn't come directly to Georgetown. There are a couple stations that are walking distance, but there is there's the bus right there, actually. We can show you. There's a major bus system that goes throughout Georgetown.
And they do have a subway system. They call it the Metro here in D.C.
It's really nice, too. Susie, it's 24 degrees Fahrenheit, -4 degrees Celsius. So I mentioned that Georgetown University is also here. The main campus is on the western edge of the Georgetown neighborhood. It was founded by John Carroll in 1789 as a private Jesuit university. Struggled for years, didn't really take off until after the Civil War under the new leadership of Patrick Francis Healy. In fact, there's a hall named Healy Hall. If you're ever visiting this area, go check out Healy Hall. We won't make our way over there today. It's a little far for us. But Healy Hall is built in the Flemish Romanesque style, and it's the architectural gem of the Georgetown University campus. Has about 7,000 undergraduate students and about 12,000 graduate students on a campus that's about 102 acres or 41 hectares, with about 80% of the students living right there on campus.
Fraser asked earlier if we could walk to the mall. The National Mall is what Fraser's talking about, and which is where a lot of the Smithsonian museums and the Washington Monument and a lot of historic places here in D.C. are. We're probably, I'd say, 2.5 or 3 miles from the mall, Fraser.
That was an old movie theater, by the way, that you were just seeing. What did I say? The 30s it was built, and then remodeled in the 50s. The Georgetown movie. Now it's a coffee shop.
Yeah, really cool.
Kathleen, but is there scaffolding? I don't know if we'll see scaffolding today.
I haven't really seen a lot of scaffolding.
We're definitely seeing scaffolding tomorrow on our sculpture garden tour, and I'm excited to show it off.
The scaffolding?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, that scaffolding.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
So we're just going to continue down Wisconsin a little bit. This area of Wisconsin is known as Book Hill, and it's made up of a lot of small independent boutiques and galleries and restaurants. It's on Wisconsin Avenue between O Street and Reservoir. And like I said, it's known for its antique stores, art galleries, but it's also known because it kind of has a European flair. And specifically, they have the Georgetown French Market here at the end of April every year, where you'll see this kind of popular Parisian-inspired open-air market taking over the streets. It's one of the biggest shopping events of the year in Washington, D.C. Oh, see that chocolate shop across the street, L.A. Burdick. They're in New York as well. It's one of my favorite places to get gift chocolates. They have these little tiny mice made out of chocolates that are so cute and adorable.
Hey, Lindsay, yes, it is so quaint here. All the streets are so cute. And someone mentioned earlier the letters and numbers. Yes, the letters travel.
I said this yesterday, now I'm going to mess it up. Letters are east to west.
Yeah.
Numbers are north to south.
That's correct.
States are diagonal.
That's correct. And
Yeah.
there was something else that someone mentioned. I missed something. Hang on. I can't scroll with my glove on.
We want to cross over actually that way.
Oh, we can do it right
Oh, we can do
here.
it there. Yeah. We're passing by.
Oh, the buildings all different. Someone mentioned that
Oh,
earlier.
yeah.
Forgive me, I forget who that was. But yes, the building, the architecture is all different and they're all connected, which is so funny. There'll be completely different architectural styles with the buildings that are connected to each other. So I'm not sure why that's the way that is, but
Primarily, you're seeing federal-style architecture and a bit of colonial as well. We'll talk a little bit about that once we go over to M Street. Look at those. The windows on the side of that building are painted, by the way. They probably look real to you, but the blue building on the right, those are painted windows, including the woman and her dog leaning out the window.
the light blue building, yeah.
Yeah. So we're crossing the street because we just want to show you Martin's Tavern, which is behind us. We were butt up against it, so we wouldn't get a very good view of it. But Martin's Tavern has some pretty great history behind it. It was established in 1933, and it's the oldest family-owned restaurant in Washington, D.C. It was founded by William Gloyd Billy Martin, who was a Major League Baseball player, and pretty much every president since Harry Truman has visited this restaurant. In the olden days, we saw a lot of well-established, famous, sort of stodgy folks eating there. Now you'll see a lot of folks enjoying it of all different styles, enjoying the dark wood paneled walls and the old wooden booths. Now, what's interesting there, booth number 3, which is by the door, is famously where on June 24th, 1953, Senator John F. Kennedy Jr., JFK, not Jr., then 36 years old, proposed to Jacqueline Lee Bouvier, age 24. And guess what? She said yes. They actually lived not too far from here, they did live all around Georgetown, different homes over the years, but they actually met 3419 Q Street at a dinner party in 1951, organized by journalist Charles L. Bartlett and his wife, who intended to set the couple up.
I just want to point out this gorgeous magnolia tree because I noticed it when we were testing.
My goodness.
When we were testing yesterday. So I just want to point this out.
Holy cow.
I'm gonna turn the camera to give you what we lovingly call an Adam shot. So the camera's you are not drunk.
Well, you might be.
Well, you might be, but
I don't know.
no judgments.
Yeah.
Look at that gorgeous magnolia. It's stunning.
It
isn't
really is. Imagine when that's in bloom and what it must smell like.
Yeah. So you can, for those of you that don't know what we mean by an Adam shot, you can snap a picture while the picture's sideways, and then you can edit that later to make that picture right side up. Anyway, so there you go. I just wanted to point out that gorgeous magnolia. Here we go back.
We're Aaron and Patrick, and we approve of that tree. So as we make our way down Wisconsin, let's chat a little bit more about the Kennedys. So individually and as a couple, they lived all around Georgetown. JFK lived here as a newly elected Massachusetts congressman. That's when he courted and married Jacqueline Bouvier. She lived here as a new bride, and she also returned to this area after the tragic death of her husband, of course. So this is rich in Kennedy history, this area. Some other notables who lived in Georgetown. Hollywood actress Elizabeth Taylor lived in Georgetown while she was married to Senator John Warner. And actually her first major stage performance was at the Kennedy Center, which we'll see at the end of our tour, which is where Patrick is performing in the prom right now. It's very exciting. But she did Lillian Hellman's The Little Foxes there. Julia Child also lived here in on Olive Street here in Georgetown. We actually went and visited her kitchen yesterday in the American History Museum. You can see Julia Child's kitchen. Francis Scott Key lived here, a lawyer, but most famous for writing the lyrics to the Star Spangled Banner. Alexander Graham Bell, as his actually earliest switching office for the Bell system, was located just down here by the C&O Canal, which we're going to see in a little bit. Olivia Wilde, the actor in Georgetown. Current residents include Senator John Kerry, former Secretary of State, Senator John Kerry. I should have included the former Secretary of State part. Bob Woodward, Madeleine Albright, and former Director of the FBI, Robert Mueller.
Never heard of him.
Never. That's a name we've never heard at all. So this is M Street. We're going to cross over now once we get the light.
Mark W. asking about what apartments rents are. That's a good question, Mark. I mean, it's definitely less expensive to live here than in New York, but Georgetown is it's a little bit hoity-toity, yeah. So it's going to cost you. That's going to cost you a little bit. I mean, I would guess, $1,500 to $2,000. That's just a guess.
I would say. Wouldn't you even say that's for like a tiny one?
Yeah.
Like a closet.
Are we going down to the alley here?
Yeah. So we're going to go down to this alley. Now, I'm going to talk about it on our way there. When we've tested this a couple times, and the signal gets wonky sometimes in the alley, but it's kind of cool. So we'll just pop into the alley and pop back out if the signal gets weird. But it's known as Blues Alley. The business was founded in 1965, a jazz dinner and nightclub. And it's located in this little carriage house down in the alley. There's a mural in the alley, by the way, too, which we'll show you when we come back out. A pretty cool mural. But you'll see that and you'll be like, show us the mural. We'll do it when we come back out. Yeah. We promise. Exclusively jazz musicians are booked here at Blues Alley. Some of the world's greatest musicians over the years. Sarah Vaughan, Charlie Bird, Dizzy Gillespie, Ella Fitzgerald, Tony Bennett, Ava Cassidy. For those of you that are Ava Cassidy fans like us.
Oh, thanks, Michelle, for finding that information.
Ooh.
Gosh, that is pricey to live here. That's why Aaron and I don't live in Georgetown.
Yet. And Nancy Wilson also here. Nancy Wilson, who does one of my all-time favorite versions of one of my all-time favorite songs, Time After Time. Oh. If you don't know Nancy Wilson's Time After Time, do yourself a favor and listen to it. It is so fantastic. That car is going to ruin everything for us.
Well, our signal's starting to dip up.
So we're going to back up. Yep. We're going to get away from the bad signal.
Backing up.
Backing up. They also have a nonprofit jazz arm called the Blues Alley Jazz Society that's dedicated to jazz education and outreach for young performers here in the Georgetown and Washington, D.C. area. Also, the Blues Alley restaurant or menu includes dishes named after some of the famous musicians who've been there over the years. Phyllis Hyman's has the most popular one, the jumbo shrimp dish on the menu.
It's hard to get the whole mural in, but this is that mural that's down Blues Alley.
Welcome to Georgetown. Thank you. I appreciate your welcome. I really do. So we're going to backtrack just a smidge and make our way up to M Street, walk along M Street a little bit before we head down to the National Harbor. Up here on the corner, you're going to see, I know, that was such a tragic early death of Ava Cassidy. I can listen to her albums all the time. But up here on the corner is the Farmers and Mechanics Bank. This was constructed between 1921 and 1922 in the neoclassical style. It was first the headquarters of the Farmers and Mechanics National Bank, and soon after it became the Riggs National Bank, now part of the PNC Bank. Such a cool building.
Farmers and Mechanics Branch. That's very specific.
Yeah.
Oh, the Farmers and Mechanics
Branch Bank here. The Farmers and Mechanics Branch Bank here.
One man likes to milk a cow, the other one likes to fix your car.
Oh, what's a car that starts or rhymes with ow?
I don't know.
What? Fix your Audi. No, that's terrible. Oh, sorry. Just running into Patrick. So this is M Street. This is kind of the main shopping drag. Yes, no teachers or lawyers allowed, or actors for
Fix
that
your
matter.
plow. There it is, Eileen.
Oh,
Thank you.
Fix your plow. Well done. Yeah, or actors. Actors aren't allowed into any bank though. You walk in, they're like, get out. Tour guides too. I'm pretty sure. Am I right? Dave and Patrick and Emma. I'm a freelance tour guide. Get out.
Get out of here.
So this is M Street. This is the kind of high-end shopping street, although right there you're seeing Urban Outfitters, which is not as high-end, but a lot of the other shops along here are very fancy.
Oh, Shayna, we love Levan cookies.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So for those of you who don't know, we've talked about Levan in New York. It's actually originally a New York-based cookie shop, and they have a Georgetown outpost right there. And Louise, why are the buildings attached? I think it was just how they just sort of popped up in this area. To be honest, we've looked up a lot about the architectural build of this area, and it's tricky to find, but I think it's probably because the city grew fast and they popped up against each other. There are alleys behind a lot of them, which is not the same as in New York, where we have very few alleys. Now, we pointed out Levan. Somebody mentioned Georgetown cupcakes earlier. A lot of you might know of Georgetown cupcakes. It became famous because of a TLC series, TLC, the TV channel. Not Tender Love and Care by Elvis Presley, but the Learning Channel. But I think that was called DC Cupcakes. And we're going to give it to you on us now. We have now tried DC Cupcakes. We've also tried Sprinkles, which is an LA-based cupcake line, which for those of you that know us, our normal New York tours, we sometimes talk about Sprinkles and how much we love them. And we still like Sprinkles better.
I think we like Sprinkles better. We tried the Georgetown cupcake. We enjoyed it. I mean, you know, we're never going to turn down a cupcake, but I think Sprinkles is more our favorite. We also found a new one. There's another place here in Georgetown called Baked and Wired.
We're going to go buy it.
And we'll go right by it. And we really enjoyed that cupcake as well.
Yeah. Sprinkles is still our favorite. Sprinkles is like a block down. Oh, I don't think we'll see it because we're going to turn before Sprinkles. But the next thing I want you to take note of, it's coming into view right now. Oh, and I should say, by the way, I'm not going to turn down Georgetown cupcakes.
Never. Oh, please.
I don't turn down a cupcake.
No.
Give it to me. I don't care. So across the street there is the old stone house. And this is the oldest surviving example of a pre-revolutionary colonial architecture in the United States, still standing on its original foundation. So it kind of represents this portal back into the days when the U.S. didn't really exist yet. The Revolutionary War hadn't even been fought yet. In 1953, the land and the home were ultimately purchased by the United States government. Now it's a museum and cared for by the National Park Service and open every day except for major holidays. The old stone house right there in the midst of all of this beauty of Georgetown.
I don't think Sprinkles has ice cream that I know of. None of the ones we've been to.
They might have like new. They'll do like ice cream cookie sandwiches, I think. I've never tried it though.
I haven't either. We're going down here?
We're going to go down here.
Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
All right, we're turning down Thomas Jefferson Street.
Do we want to cross or stay on this side? I don't know what you pick.
Let's cross because those buildings on this side are cuter.
And we got it. Oh, I thought she was talking to us. She was yelling at us to walk, but she's talking to her friends. All right, so we just turned down Thomas Jefferson, and a little bit more about Georgetown. Something.
Yeah, Kathleen, you should eat more cupcakes just to make sure. Well, you know, don't ask us twice.
Agreed. Yep. Georgetown was founded, by the way, in 1751 in the province of Maryland, and then it ultimately was consolidated into Washington, D.C. in the late 1800s. About 11,000 residents. It's bounded by the Potomac River, which we're headed towards, Rock Creek, Glover Park, and Observatory Circle. Quite a bit of it is surrounded by parkland.
just going to point this out because you can see how the buildings, I don't know if you can tell in the picture, but they've settled a little bit over the centuries. And you can see that they're not quite straight anymore.
Jill, I'm not going to say no to a donut either.
Do not tell me.
So, like I said, this area was founded in 1751. So as a result, most of these homes date back to the colonial period. So the dominant style during that time was known as the Georgian style, which is quite symmetrical. This is actually a good moment to you can kind of see what we're talking about, how many of these buildings are symmetrical. The front doors usually have a transom window, and most of them are quite square. But we, Americans, we kind of zhuzhed up the Georgian style and called it the federal style. And one of the zhuzhes they did was turn that boxy transom window into a fan type window above it. Can we go over and show that transom window? Do you see what's on it? It's the towpath. It's the canal and towpath, which we're getting ready to show you. And I love this. I love so much when people include local history in the building, the architecture of their home. So look at this transom window. You can see a canal boat being pulled by a horse. And so that commemorates the C&O Canal, which we're going to see here in just a second. So then, a lot of the homes in this area are also colonial revival that came about in the later 1800s. So you kind of see two different styles. Now here's the C&O Canal. How many of you were with us in Cumberland, Maryland? We did that in August.
Yeah.
And we showed you the end of the C&O Canal. And now we're showing you the beginning, which is quite wild. So, back when Georgetown was this bustling tobacco port, the historic Chesapeake and Ohio Canal began its 184-mile route right here in Washington. It's a little bit dry right now. As you can see, there's a boat lifted up on planks right now. It's dry because they're working on a couple of bridges. So this area has been kind of dammed off and dried up, but it will return. But it's a 184-mile route, 297 kilometers. That stretches from Georgetown right here. Oh, come on. Look at those homes. Now, that's the towpath that you're seeing. That makes me think of that movie, Cutting Edge. Towpick. Do you remember that movie?
Yes.
Towpick. Here's the towpath. So the horses would walk along this and pull the canal boats through the canals, that whole path. It's also known as the Grand Old Ditch. And it operated between 1831 and 1924. Should we show the other side? We'll cross over and show you this side too.
I'm circling back just for a few questions ago. Someone asked about if Potomac was an indigenous name, and yes, indeed it is. I think someone answered that question, so thank you. I'm so sorry I can't scroll back with my gloves on. I think it was answered. If we haven't...
Oh, Donna, the route goes from here in Georgetown, 184 miles or 297 kilometers down to Cumberland, Maryland. And this was primarily to transport coal from the Allegheny Mountains. Now the National Park Service helps maintain it. The path, the towpath, is a very, very famous biking path. So a lot of people like to bike the towpath between the two cities.
Here's that other cupcake place that we mentioned, Baked and Wired, and someone else mentioned it too in the chat. We really liked their carrot cake cupcake, which was really, really yummy.
Hello, friend. Baked and Wired. B&W. Imagine having one of those homes on... Should we go to the sidewalk?
Yes, let's go over there. Let's go right here. My sister Sherry. Hello. Sherry just joined.
Sherry in the house. Oh, okay, there we go. You can see there's a lot of... this is normally a nice little brick pavement, but this is all salt right now because the Northeast is getting ready to get pummeled by a storm. And you know how they go. The weather people are telling us that we'll get anywhere from 0 to 25 inches of snow, or it could be rain. You know, the typical forecast. So there's salt down just in
Two things.
prep.
Someone said, passed me by. Someone said I was baked and wired in the 90s, which that made me laugh. And also, Stacy asked, how do they compare to Magnolia cupcakes?
Oh.
And Stacy, we have to be honest. Again, we're never going to turn down a cupcake no matter where it comes from. But we do find magnolia cupcakes a little bit dry, just a little bit dry.
Smidge.
And if you like a drier cake, then, you know, that's the one for you. But, you know.
And again, if you give me a magnolia, I'm going to be like, thank you so much. But sprinkles, it's the one for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're almost to K Street. We're going to cross over K Street, which could take us a moment because it's a little busier. And we're going to make our way into the Washington Harbor.
Well, we're not going to go in.
Are.
No.
Yes, this is a big surprise. Patrick doesn't know this. We are diving into the water. Polar Bear Club today. We're going in. Oh, everybody has a stop sign, so they have to stop for us. Hi, we're a Hago tour. Please stop for us. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, here we're going to make our way into the Washington Harbor with some beautiful final views here of the Potomac River. So we're nested right here along the banks of the Potomac, and we're going to have some picturesque views of the Kennedy Center, the Francis Scott Key Bridge, Theodore Roosevelt Island, and the Roosevelt Bridge as well. Lots more salt on the ground right here. Again, getting ready for the storm. There's a storm a-brewing. So the harbor is actually the brainchild of a gentleman named Arthur Cotton Moore. He was a famous Princeton grad in 1977. He was honored by the American Institute of Architecture for the development of his own architectural style known as Industrial Baroque. And you know what they say, if it ain't Baroque, don't fix it.
I just want to point out this sign. When we were testing the other day, it says, no trespassing in the fountain. And it just makes you want to, like, there's steps that go down through the fountain, which we're not going to do, but...
We're not?
No, we can't. It says no trespassing.
I want to do it so bad.
But I know it makes you want to do it, even though it says no.
Because I think it's there when the water is there.
Right.
So when we get down over by the waterfront, we'll turn back and show you the look of this whole structure so you get the idea of that industrial Baroque look. You can see there's an ice skating rink right here in the middle. Yesterday when we tested, there was a little birthday party. Oh, well, by the way, our signal's going to dip a little bit here. I think we're okay. 3 of 5. We're gonna.
I think it's okay.
As long as we stay there, we'll be fine, and it'll pop back up when we get over by the water. So this whole area, normally this would be a big wide open plaza with some outdoor seating for the restaurants surrounding it when it's nicer weather. But since it's colder, they're taking advantage of that cold weather, and we have some ice skating. Jill says, off you go, guys, on with the ice skates. And there ends our tour.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to see me in ice skates.
Patrick still has 2 shows today, so he's got to take it easy. So this area is filled with little shops and cafes and restaurants, some businesses, hotel, very fancy hotel. The Four Seasons is right by us. And again, we're right on the Potomac River. We're going to make our way over to show you the views of the river. I love the little penguin ice skating helpers. Yeah. Oh, right, Stefan. I remember he did that last year, right? Did he do it again this year? Went on the canals, ice skating on the canals?
Oh, right.
I love that. That's so cool.
We're just going to step back and give you a view of the... Sorry. We're just maneuvering backwards. Okay, here we go.
Hurrah. So you can see the industrial Baroque style, that's what that's known as, with the ice skating rink right there. And again, Arthur Cotton Moore is the architect who invented this style.
All right.
And here we are over at the river. Some more Christmas decorations still up. Oh, Finn and Patrick did a river skating tour. That's fun. Yeah, Aaron and Patrick, as opposed to Finn and Patrick, we'd be on like little chairs.
We could sit on a sled.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be good.
And have someone pull us.
Yeah.
While we do a tour. The towpath, exactly. That would be really fun. There's the Kennedy Center there in the distance. Maybe you've heard of the Kennedy Center Honors every year, which honors 5 incredible artists who've influenced arts and culture in the United States. But also within the Kennedy Center is the Kennedy Center Opera House, the Eisenhower Theater, and the concert hall, right?
Concert hall, and then there's a small theater too. I can't remember the name of that, but there's lots of performance spaces in there.
There's a lot of waterfront or water fun to be had right here. Paddle boats, also what are they called? Cycle boats as well, and stand-up paddle boards. Now there in the distance, that's Arlington, right?
Yes, just across.
Just got turned
Virginia,
around. Yeah. So yeah, there's Arlington. The bridge there to our right, that's the Francis Scott Key Bridge you're seeing. Again, Francis Scott Key, who wrote the lyrics to, the poem of the Star Spangled Banner, which became our national anthem. And then in the middle of the river, that's the Roosevelt Island you're seeing right there, which is quite funny considering we take you to Roosevelt Island in New York City sometimes, although a different Roosevelt. This one's Theodore Roosevelt. FDR is our Roosevelt Island in New York City.
Fraser, yes. The Arlington Cemetery is let's see, I think it's not this bridge that you can see. It's not this one, but the one beyond that, which might be tricky to see in the picture, but the bridge beyond the one that we can see in the foreground there will take you straight over to the Arlington National Cemetery.
This one's the Roosevelt Bridge. That one's just the Arlington Bridge, right?
Yeah,
I think that one's just called the Arlington Bridge.
And for anyone that may not know, the Arlington Cemetery is where all the U.S. soldiers can be buried there.
The Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers there as well.
Yeah.
We are at the end of our tour. Yes, that is Watergate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the the Watergate Hotel, which is, Aaron will point it out right there.
Boom. Yeah, thanks, Kim, for saying that. We should have mentioned that earlier. We kind of took it for granted. I honestly don't know much about this sculpture, by the way.
I know, I just want to point it out because it's so cool.
We'll just walk around it. You all know we love to show off public art while we're on our tour, but I'm embarrassed to say I haven't researched what this one's about. So I don't know, but it looks like Mark de Severo, but I don't think it is. We did see the name of the artist the other day. We'll see it here in a minute.
Sorry, I'm trying to turn the camera
on.
I
can do it. I took my glove off. There we go. Hi, yay. Back to our faces. Yay, I'm so happy that our signal stayed up. I'm glad that our phone didn't die on us in this chilly, chilly weather. And I'm glad that we got all you folks with us today in Georgetown. We are... tomorrow, we're going to show off the Hirshhorn Sculpture Garden, which is part of the Smithsonian Institution system of free museums and gardens and the zoo as well. And we'll talk a little bit about the Smithsonian's. We'll also be on the mall, the National Mall, for just a smidge. We'll end our tour there. And we said in the description we'd catch a glimpse of the Washington Monument and the Capitol. I think we will, as long as the weather's in our favor.
Yeah, they'll be like in the distance, but we'll catch a quick glimpse of them.
Eva, I don't think we'll get the monuments in on this trip.
Not this trip.
We've tested the monuments before and our signal goes up and down. Somebody's asking if you spent a lot of time in D.C. growing up. For those of you that don't know, Patrick grew up in Southern Maryland.
Yes, I'm from Southern Maryland. My sister Sherry is also on the tour, and we didn't spend that much time in the city. Southern Maryland was lots of farmland, tobacco farms, and we grew up among lots of farmland, and we worked on farms growing up. So we didn't come into the city all that much. Strangely, I've spent a lot more time in Washington, D.C. as an adult than I did growing up.
Another guy did the monument.
Yes.
And I feel like
she had some signal issues.
Yeah.
The signal is a little tricky around the monuments for some reason. So we want to do them, and if we can figure out better ways, we don't want don't want the viewers to get frustrated with bad signals.
Somebody asked singer, actor, dancer. We both do all three.
Yes.
So for
the answer is yes.
Yeah. Patrick is in the national tour of the Prom, which is here in D.C., which is why we're here right now. And I'm doing Mrs. Doubtfire in New York City, which is on a bit of a COVID hiatus. Oh, I can G-mask. No one's around.
Thanks, Patrick Toomey. Just once again, there are so many fantastic guides and places to travel to on these wonderful Hago tours. Check out Patrick Toomey and Finn Toomey in Banff, and Dave Kavanagh in Dublin, and oh gosh, who else was on?
Emma from Norway.
from Norway was here, and someone else. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I was giggling because somebody was walking right by us without a mask.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Francis. In Vienna.
Francis! Oh my gosh, in
Yeah.
beautiful Vienna, Francis. Treat yourself to Francis in Vienna. His tours are fantastic, and Patrick and Dave and Finn.
Oh, Ellis Island tour. I mean, we lose our signal over there. We're going to keep trying.
We have tried, Paul. We have tried so much to get Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty in. And if we can figure it out, we will do it. But
Yeah.
we just, right now, the signal does not like us.
Boo. You need 6G for Ellis
Wait,
Island.
Nicola's here? I didn't notice that. Nicola in Dubrovnik. Oh, beautiful, beautiful Dubrovnik. Check out Nicola's tours there. You will not regret it. Yeah.
I think Finn has one coming up. I think Finn is doing Cave and Basin.
Yes.
And I think some of our other folks have some new ones coming up as well. I know, Kathleen, we keep hearing Verizon works, but
Yeah.
I mean, to like switch our service. But what we have talked about doing is borrowing a friend's phone who has Verizon and doing it there.
Yeah.
Someday it's going to happen, I promise you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to happen. Tomorrow, again, we're doing the sculpture garden, the Hirshhorn Sculpture Garden here. That's part of the Smithsonian. And that's our plan. Hopefully the weather stays off and we can sneak it in. And then I think we're going to have another one this coming week. Spoiler alert, in Baltimore, because we want to have more. So I think we just have to test our signal as soon as we get to Baltimore and double check all that. No cannoli, no.
Not today. Oh my gosh. We've had too many cupcakes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we leave them? Let's see. Should we leave them with the Kennedy Center?
Oh, maybe the Kennedy Center. It's so pretty.
Okay.
And we can go down there. We can go down the steps.
Oh, yeah.
And get in the water,
No,
like I
we're not
promised.
gonna get in the water.
Oh, jogger. So cold to be jogging. Please, if it was like 60 degrees, I would be like, oh, it's so hot to be jogging.
All right. So there's the. We'll leave you with the Kennedy Center. The light's kind of nice behind it. So, thank you all so much for joining us.